Do you have a time frame yet? What do you think?
No, I'm not going to talk time frames.
Okay.
I feel like everybody tells me something different. Surgeon says one thing, PT says another thing. I'm just kind of basing it on how I feel. Some days are better than others. You know, my foot feels like garbage. But I know, I think it's the type of injury where I know there's 1 week it's going to just progress to a point where, you know, I can start pushing. I'm in a hurry to get better. I'm not in a hurry to come back. Because if I feel like if I put that pressure on me to hurry to come back, I'm not going to come back 100%. And the last thing I want to do is come back too soon, re-injure it, have a setback, and then I'm going to start drinking if I, you know, get another setback. So it's day to day, better than I was yesterday. You know?
What do you miss most about being away from AEW right now?
What do I miss? I for sure miss being in the ring. We had a lot of cool stuff planned. The New Japan stuff. Man, yeah. We had a lot of neat stuff fucking planned. Being the captain of the boat and leading by example, you know, I feel like now I'm just sitting watching it. That sucks, you know, like I was supposed to get the chance to be in the ring with, like, you know, Will Ospreay, a couple other New Japan guys, and you know that I had to watch that slip through my fingers, and it was not easy. But you know, we can revisit all that stuff in the future. But that's kind of what I miss the most. It's just like that's the action for me. It's the action, being in the ring, listening to the crowd go crazy.
Jade, when is Tony gonna stop cutting the you know what? And are you gonna have to take some drastic measures? Because he won't stop cutting it. So I don't think you should let him interview you anymore. Because he's always causing trouble.
Yeah, I think we're a dynamic. We're a duo. I love Tony Schiavone. He's a thrill to work with. Yeah, he needs to cut the shit.
I agree.
Cut it out, Tony.
Yes.
So being the first TBS champion, do you feel like it's you, like, whose job it is to define what this title means from here on out?
Yes.
And what does it mean for you to have that title?
So our owner Tony Khan trusts me to uplift this show. So, you know, I had a lot of naysayers who thought they could tell me who I am. But I know who I am, and I know that I know my place, and I know why he trusts me to have this belt. You know, I am doing nothing but elevating this belt. I represent this belt. And the next person who carries it, you know, hopefully they can lift that belt just as high as I am right now. You know, it's a privilege. It's a total privilege to hold a belt in general. Like, I mean, we got CM Punk who's holding a belt, our main belt. Like, that is a privilege for me to even be here and sit next to CM Punk, you know. He's so modest. I don't talk for him. But, you know, it's amazing to just be here in the same room with him and to have a belt in the same company as somebody as CM Punk at the same time as somebody as CM Punk. So I'm just here to make way for this belt.
Punk, you're the world champion. You're still the world champion. Do you consider Jon Moxley and his interim title a legitimate title, or, as Tyron Woodley would say, is it a boo-boo title?
Great Tyron reference. I don't know. It's interesting, right? Like, I think it carries some weight. You know, I think it's an interesting place where, you know, the champ breaks his foot and he can't perform. AEW is a place where there's a couple different people floating around that could, you know, be an interim champ. Is it the real World's Championship? No. That's why they call it the Interim Championship. And, you know, that'll be my second order of business, I suppose. First one is getting the foot healthy, and second one is, you know, coming in and essentially what John is the number one contender.
That being said, the idea of a match between you two really gets me excited. Does that get you excited or interested?
Does it really? You said that kind of suddenly. Gets you excited? Yeah, it for sure can. You know, I think we're two really strong personalities. I think it's a match that fans would want to see, and him, you know, filling the void and trying to, when I'm gone, be an interim champion. I think it's an interesting dynamic. You know, we see it all the time in UFC. Fighters have long layoffs, or you know, they break a hand. They're talking about doing one with, you know, Volkanovski's out, so they might have a featherweight, you know, interim championship. It's really just a way to, you know, to kind of juice up the #1 contender, and you can have a big match, you know, off that. And I think it's just business-wise, I think it's fun.
Speaking of getting into matches, like what do you do to get pumped for a match? What are your like pre-match rituals?
My pre-match, I don't know if I have rituals, and especially now, it really kind of depends on how I'm feeling. You know, I like to, there's an expression in mixed martial arts, I like to try to get the first round done in the locker room. Try to be sweating before I go out there, so I'm not going out there cold. If I'm warmed up, you know, chances are I won't hurt myself. So, you know, I just, you know, going forward, I'll do a better job on it.
Same for you, Jade.
I stretch, I listen to Cardi B, I get up to I listen to like pop music like that. You do not want to play that right now.
Do it.
I pray before I go out, and I just visualize myself in this like just zone. Like I talk myself up. I'm like, you're the shit, you're this, you're that. Like people probably think I'm so crazy because I'm like out here just like trying to get myself like up and amped to go out there.
Jade, you're already racking up records. You're undefeated over 500 days. You're an undefeated champion. Like when you got into this business, did you ever imagine, you know, you'd be racking up records like this? And you're a great champion and representative of the company.
Thank you. No, never. You know, I knew about the match I had with Shaquille O'Neal. That was about it. You know, I know that I made the best decision as far as wrestling companies were to go. Clearly, I mean, it speaks for itself. But I would have never, ever, and you told me this 5 years ago, last year, I was like, yeah, right, there's no way. So, again, I'm just thankful for our owner, Tony Khan, for just trusting and believing that I can be able to put in these difficult positions and come out on top.
What are the requirements for being a baddie?
Confidence, knowing yourself. Like, nobody can tell you who you are. And I'm like a prime example of that. When I first came, I used to like when I first came out, everybody literally was telling me who I am, like what I'm gonna do. And I was like, yeah, right. Like you're not gonna tell me. Who are you to me? Like, who are you? You're not feeding me, you're not financing me. I can care less about what you think. I can care less about how you feel about me, what I do out there, because I'm not going to let you, off of a 5-minute match, tell me what I represent and who I am. And that's what a baddie is, knowing who they are and not letting anybody tell them who they are. Having confidence. It's not about how you look, it's about how you hold yourself. And I hold myself with dignity and pride and grace and confidence. And even in my first promo, one thing you can never take away from me is that I walked in that ring, I didn't practice, I literally went out there and did it. You can tell from my aura I had so much confidence. And there's nothing I know I can say about it.
Punk, does it ever like dawn on you? You returned to wrestling after a 16-year hiatus, less than a year ago. For the first dance, came back to wrestling for the first time in 16 years. That wasn't even a year ago. Is that crazy or what?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, it's wild. It's cool though. You know, like the AEW AEW didn't exist until 2.5, 3 years ago. So there wasn't another avenue for me to do what I do best. So I had to kind of find other stuff to do. I'm just thankful and grateful that it's here. But yeah, it's crazy. It's not lost on me how wild it is.
Did you pick Darby to be your first opponent? Did you have discussions with Tony about who it was going to be?
I had discussions with Tony about who I wanted it to be, and then he threw out the name Darby, and I was like, oh, interesting. And to me, coming back, I didn't necessarily want to wrestle the good guy, right?
Right.
But everything just kind of made sense. Tony said, trust me, Darby's the guy. And I was like, interesting, And him being with Sting was kind of a strange dynamic, and but it was one of those things that was just wild enough and crazy enough, and it was something that I didn't initially think of. So I was just like, oh, cool. I think it's important to be receptive, right? Like, I had this idea of what I wanted to do, and having a boss in a company in a situation where you can have discussions. It's not just like, oh, you're doing this. This is your name, and this is your entrance music. Go out there and do this. We came up with, to me, what wound up being perfect. You can watch that back, and you can't tell me that there was anybody else better for CM Punk to come back and start the the renaissance of his career.
With your return, why do you feel like that? Did you feel like it was the right time, and why do you feel like it was the right time?
Yeah, I think I laid a lot of the groundwork for AEW to become what it was without realizing it. It's like I spent my career planting seeds for trees I never thought I would get to sit in the shade of, and lo and behold, holy shit, I can chill in the shade of these trees that I planted. And a lot of people help grow them and water it, but it's neat. The whole situation is pretty bad.
Jade, did you fire Mark Sterling, or is it just Stokely right now? Does Mark still work for you? What's the dynamic there?
He's still my lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah, Stokely's my PR, so they're on two different spectrums.
Can you trust Stokely? It looks like there's some tension there with what's been happening with the baddies lately.
He invited some random
some
girl
random
off the street that we can't trust. We don't know who she is. She probably just wants to be around to get the star rub. But we're gonna have to see what's about to happen. And then Stokely just came here, so I'm like, who are you to tell me what I can do? And this is my show. So I guess we're gonna sit back and see how this all plays.
Have a message for anyone coming for that title?
Who? Nobody's gonna take my title. This is my title. I'll decide when I want to drop in, when I'll go for the title.
In Punk, talking about great moments, when you got to headline the Greensboro Coliseum, teaming with Sting and Darby, you were wearing face paint. Like, that's just iconic stuff. How does it feel that you can still get to do matches like that and get in the ring with icons like Sting, and you're an icon too, but like just amazing stuff, man. Love that.
When I'm in the ring with Sting, in the Greensboro Coliseum.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's wild. That's history, You watch this shit when you're a kid, and you grow up, and you get into the business. You do it because you love it. You do it because your heart's in it. You certainly don't do it for fucking money. I've been broke longer on this earth than I've had fucking money in my pocket, and you do it to chase those moments that you watch on television. Watching Sting on television for so long, like, next thing you know, you go, oh shit, I get to tag with Sting in the Greensboro Coliseum. We both came to each other, and I told him, I was like, I want to make gear that you wore when you wrestled Flair. You know, the black long boys with the gold scorpion. And he said to me, he said, well, I want to wear your shirt and, you know, maybe come up with a way to put your design on my face paint. And I was just like, holy shit. You know, and it's wild to be in those positions, in those moments, and I cherish them very much. And I want to go fucking do some physical therapy on my foot right now so I can hurry back and get back to doing exactly those things.
Sorry, go ahead. You're one of those stars. Like I've watched your like whole career, man, and you're one of those stars who like you left and then came back and nobody forgot about you. You like even that long. Everyone was like, your name was still out there. Everyone knew who you came back, and it was like we didn't have to introduce you to anybody because they knew who you were already. Even new wrestling fans, like
yeah, it's crazy.
What does that impact like?
It's not lost on me that people chanted my name for 7 years. You know, 7 years. 7 years is a long fucking time. So it's not lost on me. So I feel like every day I'm in the ring is. I hate saying blessings. I'm just fortunate, you know. And all those moments are lost on me. Again, that's why this is so upsetting, because I could have had those moments with like Ospreay, Tanahashi, you know, other people too. It's just making me antsy to get back to it. You know, they chanted my name for 7 years. I gotta give them. I gotta pay it back now.
Since we're at Comic-Con, does it dawn on you that 11 years ago you crashed another panel for a different organization with a title, and it's been 11 years since that time, and now you're here with AEW for a Heroes and Villains panel. Is that special at all to you, like thinking of your history at this convention?
I think it's cool and it's special because, you know, 11 years ago, you know, a lot of people were like, oh, why do we want to do Comic-Con? It's just a bunch of nerd shit. And it's just like, no, this is pop culture. This is where we need to be. We need to have a presence here, you know. And it's fun to me to see, you know, like how much they're involved now when they wouldn't listen to reason back then. And, you know, it's almost like their hand was forced, you know. So it's cool to know that I was a part of changing that.
Are you finally going to pick up that copy of Action Comics #1? Please.
No, I'd be more versed to try to get like an Amazing Fantasy 15 or something like that. You know, it's a little cheaper too.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. My question
Who are you?
is,
where'd you come from?
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, not there from the back.
But no, my question for you, CM, is it's kind of old news, but I really wanted that match in MMA with you and JDF to go down, Jason David Frank.
Okay.
Like, what happened with that?
It wasn't ever a thing.
It wasn't. That was something that I swear I heard stuff about it. I was like, Jay, because when he was doing MMA, then when you got in, I was like, oh, I want them two to go at it. Would you ever if you were doing it, would you ever fight him?
It's a weird question, right? Because I don't know. I think I did a Wizard World one time, and dude came up and took a picture with me, and like I don't know how all this stuff started. So
yeah.
You know, if I talk about it, it breathes life into it. If I don't talk about it, people say I'm ducking them, and I'm just, you know, like yeah, it's one of those things that I think people breathe life into that wasn't ever really a thing, you know.
Jade, is there an opponent or person you think has really like pushed you forward in the ring, or do people get in the ring with you and that's the biggest thing that's ever happened to them?
Well, one of the people that I work with, Bryan Danielson, is Red Velvet, and she's really pushed me in the ring, and she's like literally helped groom me and like calm me down when I think I've done anything like brutal. And working with Athena right now has really pushed me to new heights. She came in like guns a-blazing, So, you know, I'm just thankful to be in the ring with her and just get knowledge from her and continue to get better.
Do you have an opponent in mind that you would like to do program?
I have two. So I know Britt and I will freaking kill it on promos. Like, I will bury this girl. And I could say she'll probably get like a one-up here and there, but I'll bury this girl. And Chris Statlander, she's a powerhouse. I think it'll be a great match. I think we both can show some crazy ass moves and just deliver an entire different women's division that people haven't seen before.
From another standpoint, are there people in the pro wrestling business that you looked up to, that you kind of got inspiration?